Hi, I'm Amber, Bob's granddaughter. I live in London and couldn't make it to be with you all today, but I wanted to share some thoughts about my remarkable grandpa. Our grandpa had such a full and meaningful life. He was well respected and beloved in every aspect of his life. As a son and brother, he was called Bobby, and apparently his mother used to call him Dull, much to the amusement of the local neighborhood kids. His little sister Shirley was 6 years younger than him. They were close, and he always felt protective of her. His parents were so proud of him as a boy. He worked a paper route to help with family finances, and later added waiting tables and landscaping. He was a good friend and played ball with his cousins and neighbors. He excelled in music and drama, and he loved church and ministry and singing with the minstrels. His mom wrote down a memory for us before she passed that I want to share with you. When Bobby was in 6th grade, he was in a play. I was late getting there from the hospital. He died in the first act, so he sat up when I came in and died over again so I could see his part. Yep, that's definitely my grandpa. As a husband and friend, he was called Bob. My grandpa was such a devoted and loving husband, and he was blessed to enjoy 2 long, successful marriages to Joanne and Chris. After graduating from Warren High School in 1950, he got engaged to Joanne. He initially worked at Blackstone Incorporated in Jamestown, New York, making radiators and heaters for cars, and he joined the Navy for a short time where he played in the Navy band. They then moved out of state to Ohio, where he attended Baldwin Wallace University, where he majored in religion and minored in psychology, with the aspiration of becoming a minister. Throughout college, he always worked at least 3 jobs at any given time. These jobs were an odd mix, including stocking shelves in a grocery, church youth director, working in sheet and metal plant, choir director, church camp counselor, 6th grade teacher, ramp agent at the airport, auditor trainee for Sea List ice cream, life insurance salesman, and Kirby vacuum salesman. He was most proud of ministering for a small church of 5 families, which he built up to 120 families in a single year. In 1952, he married Joanne after courting for 2 years and 3 months, until she finally agreed to marry him after he asked her for the 20th time. They eloped on July 18, 1952 at 3 o'clock in Winchester, Virginia. They had to elope because Grandma was in nurses training at the time, and student nurses weren't allowed to marry. They had a reception the following September after she quit the training program. With her support and many hours of work, he earned his degree in religion and became youth director of the Erie Conference of the Methodist Church. He was the first of his family to earn a college degree. They moved back to Pennsylvania and had their daughters, Susie in 1958 and Charlene in 1960. As a father, he was called Dad. He continued to work hard to provide for his growing family as the lay minister of the Lander, Pennsylvania Methodist Church, while also teaching 6th grade. In 1963, the family moved out west to Santa Paula, California. They chose Santa Paula because Grandma liked the citrus trees. The family was a close-knit unit and enjoyed simple pleasures with family and friends and frequent visits with relatives back east. I think the trips that were most treasured by the family were their annual camping trips to Sequoia and road trips to Pennsylvania, where they would stay with family for long stretches of time. While music and ministry remained a passion, he ended up pursuing a career as a teacher. Here, he was called Mr. Buchanan. His favorite thing to teach was math, and he had a unique way of explaining mathematical concepts. He taught 6th grade at Barbara Webster School and later also taught at Isabel Middle School and Blanchard School. He was respected and loved as a teacher, and the Santa Paula community is full of his students and their children and their grandchildren. He retired from teaching in 1986 when Grandma got sick, and he committed himself to her care. Her passing was difficult, but he often told me that he kept her memory alive by always doing what she would want him to do for their family. He remained devoted to that promise right up until his last day. He was also known as Uncle Bob to his sister Shirley's family, and was always there for them even though they were on the other side of the country. In 1992, he remarried to Chris and brought her family into ours with open arms. He and Chris had many amazing years together and had quite a few adventures. They enjoyed traveling, spending time with family, and were at the heart of their church community. With Chris's encouragement and the help of Nita Arendt, he rekindled his love of singing and sang every day. continued to perform right up into his passing, even having had planned a performance for the day after he left us. I felt it was important to paint this picture of his life and the many roles that he played through the years, because you can really see how loved and special he was to everyone who knew him. So you will understand the weight of it when I say that being a grandfather was the role that meant the most to him. He was our papa. BJ named him, actually. When he started talking back in the early 80s, he pronounced it as Papa, and it stuck. All of the grandchildren have always known him as Papa ever since. There aren't many of us, me and my 3 brothers, BJ, Davy, and Randy, and our cousin Sean. He was also grandpa to Chris's grandchildren, Steve, Alicia, and Janie. And he was also blessed to meet his great-grandchildren, my children, Emily and Oliver, and Alicia's Abby. Oliver's middle name is Carl, in honor of Papa. So this is where it gets hard. How can I put into words what Papa meant to me and the rest of the grandkids? He was always the most constant and most supportive person in our lives. No matter how difficult the days were, he was always there with seemingly endless patience and advice. He loved us fiercely and would do anything for us. He accepted us for who we are while also being a gentle teacher of faith and morals. I'm not Christian, but Papa taught me that it's okay to keep looking for answers and meaning, and that we can't put God in a box. Me and the boys all turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself, and Papa deserves a lot of credit for inspiring us all to be our best selves. When we were young, Papa was a safe space when things at home or school got too hard. My brothers and I didn't have a dad, and Papa stepped in to be a father figure in our lives. We had so much fun with him, too. He wasn't afraid to be silly and used to make us laugh and laugh. I have especially fond memories of him talking to his car as if it was a horse and asking it to giddy up or whoa while driving. He was always calm, never in a hurry, and was never too busy for us. As we got into our teen years, Papa helped with our academics and really helped transition us all to adulthood. He helped me with my continuing education, and he helped my brothers graduate from high school and find career paths. Papa married Davy and Jen and Sean and Melanie, and he traveled to the UK for my wedding in order to walk me down the aisle and sing. As the years passed, Papa never gave up or slowed down more than his body forced him to. He tended his roses, sang at church, traveled, and spent time with family. He did puzzles, crossword and Sudoku mainly, every day to keep his mind sharp. He approached life with gratitude for each day and believed that every decision that we make needs to be carefully weighed and to take your time and not worry about things that aren't in your control. I remember he was never stressed about being late for something. He'd arrive when he'd arrive, and being stressed wasn't going to make any difference. He also never set an alarm. He told me that he trained his brain to wake him up after he had had the desired number of hours of sleep. He believed that doing it this way meant that he got a better night's sleep because he would naturally wake up after his sleep cycle had finished. I honestly don't know how he did it, but it worked for him. Papa was an incredibly intelligent man. He valued education, and things honestly just came easily to him. Papa also cared deeply about his heritage, which is Scottish, Irish, Welsh, and Pennsylvania Dutch. The name Buchanan is Scotch-Irish. He identified strongly with his Scottish background and spent time visiting Scotland and researching the Buchanan clan's history. He made sure to pass this on to us as well, and whenever I go to Scotland, I will think of Papa. Papa always made us feel special, like we mattered the most to somebody. Papa knew how to listen empathetically and give gentle advice when needed. I don't know how to say this with the weight it deserves, but he was always there for us. And now that he's gone, it's hard not to feel a bit lost. I think all we can do is take the same approach that he did when he lost a loved one and keep him alive within us by making every decision, every day, in a way that would make him proud of us, which of course he always was and will be. There was no doubt in Papa's mind that heaven is real and that we will all be together again. It makes me smile to think that he is reunited with his parents, his sister, my grandma, and all of the other people that he has loved and lost. We love you, Papa. We love you, and we miss you terribly, and we thank you for your incredible life.
Apo, is go to heaven. I see him someday.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy will someday walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will someday rule all nations? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know? This next song is sort of a wish that everyone has. If someone is going to get to heaven before you do, you would like to send a message with them to tell them that, hey, tell them I'm on my way. Okay.